Well, welcome to the Love and Victory Show with Val, and we are sitting here ready for this candid conversation, culture shock.
Culture shock.
Culture shock. But before we go there, I want to welcome our guest. She is in the house, Miss Haley. How you doing
Miss
this morning?
Mahalia Jackson.
It is not Mahalia. We always got the.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I slept pretty good last night. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
energized this
You
morning. I feel
energized?
good.
So you're gonna bring it to him to say,
I am.
okay, then, because we're gonna talk about this culture shock.
I'm ready.
Okay, then we actually have another guest that was scheduled to be on. I know that she would be here, so she's running late, so or she may or may not be able to make it. She has some things going on, but this is Mallory. We are praying for you. We know that everything is working itself out. Just give me a holler. But before we jump into this show, Brother Carter, we're gonna come back
What you coming back to?
the twerking. Brother Carter got to see the video. And so now what's your opinion?
Oh my.
That's now you understand.
Look,
Okay.
where's she running for Congress person at? What
State senator
in
In
what
Rhode
state?
Island.
in
Rhode
Rhode Island.
Okay. I thought it was Georgia when I saw the video.
That would probably make more sense.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more sense.
Okay, so what do you have to say, Brother Carter?
Oh my.
Okay. Hey Kelsey, Haley, what's your thought on it? Now, was that a culture shock?
That
No.
was
What?
very shocking.
Yes.
I
What was
didn't
shocking
expect
about
that
it?
because I've never seen a senator's butt.
Like,
Like
Oh.
I don't think we should be seeing a senator's.
Is she?
Rear
She
end.
not a senator
she
yet.
She is. She was already elected. She wanted to get reelected.
Mm-hmm.
So she was already in
Oh.
office. So I'm like, I don't think we should have seen that.
Yeah.
But it was very shocking.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel as a young woman?
Um, it's just kind of disappointing because it went so viral and it's on
Mhm.
TikTok where there are younger women and younger girls and they're just gonna see that and think that that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Especially coming from someone of such like high authority. You're a senator.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just putting the wrong message out there.
Oh,
wrong
my.
teachings out there.
Mm-hmm. I agree. 100%. I'm glad you elaborated on that.
That's from the girls, ladies, and women's perspective.
Okay, from a man's perspective, let me hear yours. Come
No,
on.
no, I don't have a perspective. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure there's a different perspective from me and the men out there that are listening to the show today. Would you vote for her? If you seen the video? What-
Well,
let-
since you asked, you sound like would you vote?
I got to be careful here.
No, nothing ever held you back before.
I'm being careful here.
Because what you have daughters, wives,
Yeah,
and sons, and
yeah,
grandsons, and
yeah.
granddaughters.
Yes.
But again, with that being said, would you vote, or do you think that was a good way to promote herself in Rhode Island or anywhere?
Well, the proof will be in the pudding.
If she gets reelected, okay. You playing it safe.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, we're gonna.
Proof is in the pudding.
You're ready for the acronyms of the show, and we're getting ready to get going.
Yes, and I also have another riddle today that got to mind.
Okay, go with the riddle.
All right, so today's riddle is: what is the most slippery country in the world?
What?
The most slippery.
Slippery country in the world.
Are we supposed to guess that, or is that just for everything?
You can too.
You can call in or comment down below.
The most slippery country
in the world.
In the world.
That's a riddle or a question?
It's a riddle.
It's a riddle.
It's a riddle?
The most slippery country. And I'm bad at geography, so
Don't even think about like if it's actually slippery. Like just think about the name. That's a hint.
Slippery.
Slippery. When I think of slippery, I think of slippery slope. I think of things going downhill. You know, United States is going downhill right now.
Mm-hmm. When I think of slippery, I think of slimy. I think of cruddy, not doing too well, something. So I guess I would go back to, Russia. No, I'm
Nope.
wrong. United States?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, all right. What you say, Brother Carter?
I don't know.
Maybe it's
Oh,
a word play.
some
Yeah.
one of our guests had said Iceland.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that was good.
That was
That
a
was a
good
good
one.
one.
But that's
That
not
was
a,
a
is that a
That is.
country?
that's a good one.
It probably is.
It
Like
pro-
I said, I'm not good.
Okay, so Miss Kelsey, you put that out there. You got us all wrong. Brother Carter, what do you have to say?
I'm not gonna jump out there.
You ain't putting yourself out there? Oh, you ain't even
Slippery
tried
slopes.
slippery. Just what it slippery.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
What is the say it again one more time?
What is the most slippery country
Foxy
in the
says
world?
Iceland too.
No.
Slippery. That makes sense though.
It does
It
make
does.
sense.
It makes
It makes
sense.
a lot of sense.
That was really good. Whoever
Yeah.
said that, y'all
Yes.
have a great mind.
Yes, they do.
Alaska.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
just give it to us
Yes.
then,
You guys ready
Kelsey.
for the
We give
answer?
up. We're ready for the answer.
What
It's
is the
probably
most-
not even a country.
What is the most slippery country in the world? It is Greece.
Oh,
Wordplay.
Oh. That's a good one. That was a good one.
That
Okay.
was good.
Yeah, I had
That
to put
was-
that one in
But
there.
props to the Iceland.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good
That
answer.
was a good answer, but wow.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you got us on
You
that.
got us on that. It's like,
That was a good one.
okay, Greece.
All right.
All right, we are ready for the acronyms.
So for the acronym, our word is culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's the C word being continuum, a continuous sequence in which adjacent elements are not what's that word say? Perceptibly different from each other.
You wrote it.
Sorry. Although the extremes are quite distinct, different cultures or ways of living are entire when compared, however distinct in their own way. For you, I put the word upbringing.
Mm.
Cultural upbringing gives people a sense of who they are. The unique cultural influences people respond to from birth, including customs and beliefs around food, artistic expressions, language, and religion, affect the way they develop emotionally, socially, physically, and linguistically. Did not want to mess that word up.
Mm-hmm.
For the L word, I put learn.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we brush our teeth, cross our legs, send our parents a birthday card, kiss someone, or listen to music, or go out for a recreation, we are practicing learned behaviors, which are a part of our culture. And for the T word, I have time.
Mm-hmm.
A cultural or national preference towards past, present, or future thinking. The time orientation of a culture affects how it values time and the extent to which it believes it can control time. For the U word, I have urban. An urban area or a built-up area is a human settlement with a high population density and infrastructure of built environment. Urban areas are created through urbanization and are characterized by urban morphology as cities, towns, conurbations, or suburbs. And for the R word, I have research. Helps us answer certain questions like why do we need to follow rules and what impact can our actions make on other people. Culture study in general allows us to understand how the different cultures came about. It also gives an overview of how people's behaviors vary from one place to another. And for E, I have existence.
Mm-hmm.
Culture is reflected in our history, in our heritage, and in how we express our ideas and creativity. Our culture measures our quality of life, our vitality, and health of our society. Through our culture, we develop a sense of belonging, personal growth, and ability to empathize and relate to each other.
Okay.
That's the acronym.
Well, now we're going to. That was very good.
Thank you.
I like that. That was very good. And so she got us ready to have this cultural shock conversation.
All right.
And again, I really want us to feel comfortable really going there and being honest and transparent because as you said early on, I asked you earlier in the show, have you ever experienced culture shock? And I really forgot about that experience that we had when we went to Jamaica. And that was the people were beautiful.
Right.
It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. I enjoyed it so much so went right back. But the experience of traveling from the airport up to
get to where you was going
was a very just
cultural shocking.
shock. It was very yes. So we're going to dig into this culture shock conversation, and again, please chime in with your questions, your comments. As you can see, we are very candid and very open here, and definitely enjoy having conversation and getting pushback.
All right, so let's take a moment to welcome Miss Haley Jackson to the show. Haley, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
You doing
I'm
good?
enjoying my time here right now.
All right, Miss Haley.
We
Okay.
are so excited to have Haley, and as always, it's not like I am welcoming her here because
Mm-hmm.
she's always with me.
Okay.
I'm very proud of Haley. Haley is one of my interns
All right.
at VK, and so Haley is interning for me over at and she's actually one of my she's one of my special ones. She's interning on my PR team, and she's
What
done
what brand is she particularly focused on over
on
there?
the nonprofit with
Okay.
L&V.
L&V.
Yes, and so she is along with her counterpart, which is um, Ariel, are working to put together this awesome event that we have coming up August 4th. You want to tell them a little bit about it?
How's that coming along?
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
August 13th.
13th, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
It's coming along really well. We've gotten some donations and sponsorships,
Mhm.
and
What
I'm
is
really
the
excited
event
for it.
about?
So it's about just really servicing the disabled community here in Houston.
Mhm.
And we're going to have a walk in the beginning of it for the first 2 hours. We're going to walk for those who can't, which will be the disabled
Okay.
community. And then after, we're going to have some fun and games. We have like a game truck, a
Mhm.
dunk tank, food. It's just a lot of fun after.
DJ.
okay.
Yeah, DJ. It's going to be a fun
Wow.
hangout.
It's
for
so.
sure.
What is the name of the event?
So it's called Bridging the Gap with the Stride, the event of the summer.
The event of the summer.
And where could I come
Where is it going to be
to
located at?
participate in this event, and what I need to do to participate in this event?
So the event is at the Russ Poppy Family Park here in Houston, and in order to participate in the event, we have a volunteer sign up
Mhm.
on the Volunteer Houston if you want to go in and volunteer, and then if you just want to attend, we have an Eventbrite and it's connected to the LNV Facebook. We have an
Mhm.
under event, so you can go right through there.
Okay. So
We're
you can go onto the webpage of the LV
no,
ERINC.com
no.
or
You can
so.
go to our Facebook
The
page,
Facebook,
the
the LNV
Facebook
Facebook.
page,
Okay.
and we'll tell you more about that. But we have to jump into this culture shock. Before
Mhm.
we go there, Haley, as always, we always ask our guests to give us 4 to 5 words
Mhm.
that describes you. Haley, why don't you go ahead and give us those words, and so we can dive into that to get to know you a little more.
Yeah, sure. I'd say I'm outgoing,
Yeah, we did that last night.
genuine, a
Okay.
believer, and the fourth word, kind.
Okay,
Well,
I would
okay.
agree with that.
My friends would call me silly and funny or crazy. They would use one of those words. So.
Okay. And if I can describe you, and then Kelsey, I'm going to hit you with this. If I can describe Haley in one word, I would say she is definitely a forward thinking person.
Mhm.
That you think that she's not engaged, but she's very engaged. She's there thinking through the process.
Mhm.
She's not very quick to just react and respond. She's in there really taking it all in and
Mhm.
thinking. So I love that about you. How would you describe her, Haley? I mean,
Haley?
yeah, how
How
would
would I
you?
describe Haley?
I love hearing
Um,
how people describe
Put
me.
on the spot. Okay.
What
I would
word
say,
pop out?
what word pops out when I think about Haley or when I think about her as a character? Just
yes.
from being in the office with her. Very, very kind,
Mhm.
smart,
Hmm.
and consistent. I'll
Yes.
say those are the
Thank
3 words
you.
that come to my mind.
Yes. Okay, then. So now we're getting ready. That
Now
is
you
who
ain't asked me what I
we're
think.
gonna ask you. Now we're getting to Brother Carter, and we're gonna let Brother Carter tell us in his how do you see Haley?
Say, I don't know Miss Haley.
Because you don't come to the office.
But when I look at Miss Haley and looking at her presence, the word sweet come to my mind. She's
Oh,
just a sweet person.
oh, okay.
This is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is.
My mom says about me a lot, though.
She says that you're sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
right.
that's beautiful.
See, I know it better than y'all now.
Okay then. Okay, then well, we get ready to just dive on into this conversation, and thank you again for being here. And again, I'm asking that we keep Mallory McGray lifted up in prayer. We absolutely love you, and I will be reaching out to you after the
Amen.
show.
Amen.
All righty. Foxy Brown says she is a poised person.
Oh,
Poised.
thank
Okay,
you.
all righty then. Good feedback.
You
Um,
need to see the bunny ears that
yeah,
she came
she
in
Oh
with.
walked
yeah, they're so cute. I love
she
these jackets.
she walked in with the bunny. She said, "Y'all gonna see her today." Okay, then I'm just gonna throw this first question out there, and we're just gonna strike a
Mm-hmm.
conversation up. Have you ever, and this is for all of us here,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
have you ever lived any place other than your own community? Hmm.
Say that again.
Have you ever lived any place other than in your own community? You need a little dialogue with that?
No.
Okay.
You know, I'll jump in on this.
Okay.
I've always wanted to raise my family in a decent culture,
Mm-hmm.
safe culture.
Mm-hmm.
And
Environment.
right. And one season, I decided we was gonna save a little
You
money
wanted to save somebody.
and
Yeah.
move into a less safe environment.
Because the rent was cheaper.
Yes.
Okay.
And the shocking thing was the day we moved in,
Hmm.
an individual was shot and killed.
Mm-hmm.
Not long after that, our own son was shot, but he wasn't killed
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
this environment. So so you have to be careful about changing your thought process of who you are and who you want to be in life,
Mm-hmm.
because you can find yourself in an environment that's not suitable.
So, in other words, what I'm hearing you say,
What are you hearing me
you
say?
lived in you lived in another community, and it was definitely a culture shock. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then you be remembering some stuff. That really was tough. What about you?
I've always lived in the same house that I was born in.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as me going to college and moving to
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana, I feel like that would be a different living in a different community.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Kelsey?
Well, for me, I lived in, I could say, 3 different communities. From a
Mm-hmm.
child, I lived in Beaumont, Texas, in the suburbs, and then from there, I went to a gated community in Houston, Texas, where my grandparents were moved from Beaumont, and that was different because it was more upper class people.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we went to a suburban neighborhood where I'm currently residing now with my parents, and that was nice. It was different from childhood because childhood was ghetto to me personally, and now it's
Yeah, from
just
Beaumont, you
yeah,
tell me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now it's just calm and collected. And another community is college for me. Also, that was a big change.
Beaumont taught you how to be tough in this environment, huh?
Yeah, kind of sort of. I moved when I was like 4, so I
Okay.
didn't really
Oh,
get to.
okay. Oh, you didn't raise up in Beaumont, did you?
Yeah, we left after the hurricane.
So, in those changes and living in it, and I'm really trying to take this conversation away, in living in these different communities, did we had a huge culture shock change in our community, which
Mhm.
impacted us personally, whether good or bad. It impacted us, and
Mm-hmm.
it for us it said we have to be very careful. Saving money is not always the answer. And I'm not here to put anybody down or make them feel bad about the community in which they have to live.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a
Yeah. If
huge.
that's not what you're used to, then it
It,
can be cultural shocking.
it was
Right.
very cultural shocking. So I'm going to take this conversation and go a little further. Brother Carter, what about you? Do you have anything else to say on
No.
that? Okay. What do you understand about the process of adapting to new and a strange environment? Oh,
Haley?
What do we understand? understand about.
What do you know and understand about the process of adapting to a new and strange environment?
Um, like I said earlier, before we were on air, I feel like I'm a very like I adapt to environments very quickly, and honestly, I just don't let it. I take everything in, but I don't take it as like a negative thing. I don't let it scare me or shock
Mm-hmm.
me. I just kind of learn how to move within it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not a chameleon to where I blend in with it, but I'm just okay with it. I'm okay with
Okay,
being myself. I'm okay with being
where
in a
you're
different
at,
community. I don't let it
consume you and
yeah,
overtake
I
you.
don't let it mess up anything that I have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Brother Carter.
I don't understand the question.
Okay,
What do
basically,
So I
you
guess what
know?
I know about the process is don't overthink it. Don't let it overwhelm you.
Overwhelmed. Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes,
good. That's good.
that's exactly right. Because just because sometimes when you are unfamiliar with things, people automatically put a guard up, and
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
so you're afraid to really experience it. But sometimes I think it's better not to just go head in. Take the time to kind of process what's going on around you,
Mm-hmm.
but be open to it.
Right, be open.
Yeah, be open. That's my thought on that. Still,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
don't have thought. Okay.
Someone said ghetto in Beaumont. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wait a minute. Fox and Brown, these comments are killing me over here. Chelsea, you're going to be in trouble. They're weighing you out. They said, ghetto
It
in
was
Beaumont.
it was ghetto to me.
She said, I'm telling your parents. Well, Kelsey, I'm going to back you up a little bit.
Mhm.
So my brother's sister, two sisters in Beaumont, nieces and nephew,
Mhm.
and I have cousins there. So it's definitely a culture shock on both sides, and it can be a little excuse me,
Little what?
look ghetto.
Little different.
I know I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Well, again, but I love Boba
Yeah.
too, so it can be
Yeah.
parts
See,
of
I
it.
was raised
Come on,
in Galveston,
okay.
and we didn't have the best of. I'm a child from the '60s,
Uh huh.
and so we didn't always have the best of things in life as we do today.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm able to adapt to different cultures like Miss Haley is. I'm able to adapt because I've been in different cultures, should I
Okay.
say. I had to learn to adapt to be around white people
Okay.
because in the 60s and 70s, we didn't necessarily have a common denominator between the two.
Well, I have to disagree because we all went to school together. But when we went back home, it was well, you guys didn't because you went to I think you were at what
Yeah.
Goliad or something like that, where it was just
It was just
African
us
American
sisters.
us and sisters over there. Okay,
It was just
okay,
us
and then
sisters.
you went to the
Yeah,
middle school, and it was just
us
us and
sisters.
sisters. Okay,
And even when there was some
coming in,
them in there,
it was so
we
few.
didn't necessarily because we was just used to our own community
So y'all didn't
of
welcome to
gatherings
blends. Okay.
versus then blend. We didn't do that.
Oh,
And you was brighter. You were a brighter person growing up in Galveston as a young athletic female, and you had an opportunity to uh, deculturalize, or should I say, yourself, and be
he make
around other
y'all. He
people.
makes up words, y'all. He makes up words. He gonna come. Y'all just walk with him. He gonna have all kind of words that y'all not gonna find in the dictionary. So do not try to go and flip the dictionary.
Hey,
Think you gonna find a word.
me and Reverend Jesse Jackson, we learned how to make up words as we go.
Okay, so in other words, it wasn't as shocking for me because I did go to
Right,
school
right.
with and where I
Yeah,
didn't realize your
yeah,
school was.
yeah. We even when we had some white people in our school, we didn't
Did you hear
really
what this man
socialize.
say?
No, seriously, we didn't socialize with the white people. It was us and it was them. Mine. This is the 60s and 70s I'm
Yes,
talking about.
Yeah.
yes,
So that
yes.
makes sense.
That does make
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
Barbara Collins said something.
What did she
She
say?
said it was a big transition for me to leave my black community in Galveston, which is all I knew, and live in a Hispanic community.
Mm. Uh, Barbara. Oh, actually, that's Barbara.
Mhm.
Hello, Barbara. That is
Mhm.
my sister. Please make sure we ran track together. I'm so glad you chimed in today. And we also went to school and grew up together. And
Mhm.
I have to agree. But Barbara, I think you went to. I think you were over at Goliad too. So she probably didn't go. I was over at Crockett, and
Mhm.
then I went to Lovenbird, and
Yeah.
then by the time I made it over to Central,
See,
that was a culture
you
shock.
went to school up there near the beaches and stuff like that, where the white people was going. See, but back on the other side of Broadway, there wasn't no white peoples over there. So,
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
well,
Uh,
keep in mind, it's the 60s and 70s we're
70s.
talking about.
Okay, so let's talk about you guys' experience in school. This is not a conversation for just me and him. You weren't the only one culturally shocked, but we can go all day with that. Did y'all have a mixture of school? Because y'all,
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's much different than what we
Right,
experienced back
right,
there.
right.
Okay. Well, I have a couple of comments that I want, if you can, go ahead, because they are hitting it hot today on
Yeah.
us. So we
And so
want
you
them
guys are still in school right now,
in
right?
college.
In
Yes.
college,
sir.
in college. So
Mhm.
you really haven't seen uh, the cultural shock of things
Well, I
and
think
like have you guys traveled anywhere, traveled abroad, been out of the country,
Not
anything like that?
not yet.
Not yet.
I've been to, it's not out of the country, but I've been like Puerto Rico and Hawaii.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that was very different from
Yeah.
the States.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
but
Mhm.
it's still not out of the country though.
No. It's pretty much, but
Well,
what you got, man?
I'm going to say this. I think another time was a true culture shock is when we went to, and I'm going to get back to this. This is part of the conversation, is when we went to London.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That was a culture shock for me on the food. And we were there for like 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And all I could do was just take in my liquid diet because I couldn't the food. I just couldn't get
You
rid.
didn't like it?
I did not like it, and we didn't find anything that I
You
could.
don't like fish and chips?
I was just so I don't like a lot of
That's
fried food, and
yeah.
everything was fish and chips, and or then it was just bland. It just didn't have for me. It
Uh-huh.
didn't have flavor, and I think on our last day there, he found this grocery store. It's so
A
weird.
sandwich shop.
It was
Yeah.
a and he brought me some little food
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it was good. So that was the food was a huge culture
Yeah.
shock
Yeah.
going in London.
You know, a lot of people that travel to the UK, they lose a lot of weight while being there, like from the United States,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
because the food there is different. I
It's
guess.
completely
like
Really?
different.
cleaner or something. They lose like lots of weight when they over
I
there.
don't know what it was. Maybe that's what. Maybe it was too clean for my stomach, my palate. Because I tell you what, I could not eat. I mean, it was rough. So
Mm-hmm.
I want, if you could, because we got a lot of comments coming in here. If you can, Kelsey, if you give us a few comments, and so we can probably
Yes.
respond to them.
So from Joya Bradley, that's my aunt. Experiencing culture shock shapes us as individuals. There are
Mhm.
always lessons learned that positions us on adapting effectively for future situations.
Mhm.
So-
Ebony Guillory, my other aunt. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Mhm.
I love the conversation, and my niece Kelsey is very well spoken. I am so proud of everything you all are doing.
Oh,
Oh, you just had to read that.
I was going in order. I'm gonna go all the way down.
One
yes.
more. One more.
Give it to
Oh, Joya Bradley said, but we're going to talk about the comments on Beaumont. She's also from Beaumont.
him.
Okay, I'm
What
sorry.
she
I had
say?
to
We're
say
gonna
this.
leave Beaumont alone, huh?
Okay. I think, thank you guys so much for your comments. This is what makes this conversation and this show so special and so good. So
Mhm.
keep them coming, and we will bring you in and comment on your comments if you
Yeah.
have a comment. We're going to wait on it.
Mhm.
We're going to wait on it. All righty. We were having a little behind the scenes. Brother Carter.
Oh, I'm on.
You on and
Uh-huh.
you are hot. He want to sing for us. That's all right. We're gonna have a little. We had some conversation behind the scenes in regards to culture shock. And it's actually a very good conversation we were having. But I want to talk about really how the cultures, bringing the cultures. I want us to talk about why it's such a divide in cultures, and how do we get there.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is, for example, do you think that a lot of our experience of not experiencing something outside of what we know plays into what's going on in the world today, culture shock, meaning that people are not willing to be open to something that is different because,
Fear.
yes.
A lot of people are very, very fearful
Hmm.
of the unknown,
Okay.
which plays a lot into racism,
Hmm.
plays a lot into hatred. Uh, Fear. It's just fear that turns into anger. Fear will hold you back from experiencing anything outside of yourself. So when I think about cultural shock, I grew up as a construction worker and doing a lot of plant work, and in the '90s I went to corporate America
Hmm.
and started working in offices and buildings and with
Hmm.
white people's and they were paying.
Yeah. And I don't want anybody to think Lawrence is so silly, but I don't want nobody to think that. Go ahead.
I'm just real.
You just
I'm
real.
just real.
Hmm.
And so when I started working in the '90s in corporate America, it was very few of black people working there.
Hmm.
Very, very few. I mean, you count
Downtown.
out of 5,000-6,000 people, you can count on your hand the black people that were working there at the
Hmm.
time. And so that was very shocking at first, or should I say, could have been very intimidating
Hmm.
at first. But being the person that I am, uh, the transition
Wasn't so bad.
it wasn't so bad.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing that up in regards to employment or even
Hmm.
in school. So let's just talk about on a college campus. Since we're sitting here with two young adults
Hmm.
in here that had to leave their community, their safe environment at home,
Hmm.
and go into another environment.
Hmm.
Let's talk about the culture shock and that experience. So you left Houston, Texas,
Hmm.
and then you went into, where is your university at now?
Southern University.
Southern.
Southern University. Okay.
Southern girl. That's where Frankie Beverly and them made that song, I believe. Southern girl.
Oh my goodness. The
If
best HBCUs in the world.
okay, then if there, let's talk about
Oh,
that experience.
let's go see what the TSU folks say and the Prairie View folks say
Oh
about
Lord.
that.
So I want to see what that. Did we just get a caller in? We have Barbara Collins calling in, and we're going to bring her in here shortly as Kelsey turn the mic on, and then I'm going to come back to you on this comment. Uh, Tell me about your experience leaving Galveston and going to Corpus. What was that culture shock like for you?
Well, my experience with leaving Galveston was exciting, but I was coming to an area that was not familiar with, which was Texas A&I University at the time, and it's now called Texas A&M Kingsville. To come to Kingsville, which is a small city, and when I came to the campus, I didn't realize it was a predominantly Hispanic university, and so I really tried to gravitate to the black people on campus because that's what I was comfortable with,
Hmm.
and that's what I knew growing up. I really didn't uh, grow up in any other culture. So what I came to learn was that, like Brother Carter said, I needed to have an open mind
Mhm.
and not be afraid to experience the culture.
Mhm.
So I stayed, even though it was a little transition for me. I stayed here so I can embrace the culture
Mm-hmm.
and learn about the Hispanic culture and the people. And I have come to know that they are some very, very wonderful, loving people. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that I stayed to have that experience.
Mm-hmm.
So as I grew up here through my uh, young adult ages, my kids grew up here. And so by staying here and embracing another culture,
Mm-hmm.
it allowed my kids to also live in a different culture. And now my kids have a very diverse
Mm-hmm.
uh, perspective
Perspective.
on life
Mm-hmm.
and people.
Yeah. How long have you been there, Miss Barbara?
I have been here for about 35 years.
Ah, so are you fluent at this point in your
No, I am
Spanish
not.
speaking?
Well,
Petito.
What? Do you understand what they're saying to you, and
Well,
around you? Should I say?
they speak, the people here speak English,
Yeah, but when
but
they speak,
occasionally you do come across some people who do not speak English, but there's enough people around who can translate for them.
uh-huh.
My husband
Okay.
is he understands the language better than I do. I
Okay.
can read it
you kn-
better than I can.
okay, Barbie, you know him. You know him very well. Brother Carter over here is being petty.
No, I know I'm
He,
serious, but
but he
because
want to
when
know
you're
what they.
around, no, seriously,
Okay.
when you when they like to speak in their own language when they speaking one to another,
Hmm. Some of
that's
them.
yeah, a lot of them do that. A lot of them do that. They like to speak
That's what
in
they're
their
more
own language.
comfortable speaking.
Right, right. When they're speaking with each other,
Okay.
you know, and sometimes that can be because I work in corporate America, like I told you,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
we have people of the Hispanic, of the Latino race, and then when they communicate in their own language,
Hmm.
and and sometimes that can be kind of frustrating for an individual
That
that's not understanding.
what they're saying at the or it can be you can
Right.
feel insulted or intimidated by it. Not
Not intimidating,
intimidated, but
but
just
just
insulted. Like
yeah,
why
yeah,
can't you just speak English?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
And I had to grow to a point where I stopped saying, speaking English.
You would have to go up. You would say that to him, Lawrence.
I used to. I don't let
You
it bother.
grown now, huh?
Yeah, I don't. I don't feel like nobody's talking about me. I don't feel like, you know.
But in the beginning, it did
Yeah,
bother you.
yeah.
Okay. Barbara, did you ever experience feeling when you first came there? And then I'm going to bring this conversation back, but I'm glad you're on the call. You can stay on the call with me if you want. Did you ever experience feeling intimidated? No, I don't want to say intimidated, but
Hmm.
uncomfortable
Hmm.
when people were around you speaking in Spanish
Hmm.
and you not understanding, and I'm going to take you back to when you first went to the university,
Hmm.
coming straight from Galveston. Of course, the woman you are today, you're fine and walking in your who
Hmm.
you are.
I would say, there were sometimes when people would speak in Spanish and I wouldn't know what's going on. If I was standing there in part, I would say, "Hey, what are you saying?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
What
exactly.
what are you saying?" And
Okay.
so, you do pick up on some key as you pick up on some key words, but it didn't make me feel uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Um, because I was very like outspoken, so
Hmm.
I didn't just not say anything about it. But that doesn't really happen
Hmm.
too much anymore.
Mhm.
Like I said, most of the people in the Kingsville community, there are people who speak Spanish, but for the
Hmm.
most part, everyone speaks English.
Mhm.
That's
When you
good.
go further south toward Mexico, McAllen, that area,
Hmm.
you have more of the Spanish-speaking families and people in that area. And so when you go further south, you're kind of like an oddball sticking out, so you do
Right.
kind of look like out of place. But my philosophy is, I go there like I belong there, and
Hmm.
I'm confident in who I am, and I belong here, so I don't feel like
Amen.
I love
Amen.
that. I
out of
love
place. Yeah.
I love that comment right there because when you're going and experiencing something different, and
Hmm.
we all can chime in on this here. I love the fact that you said I belong there. And I think that when you have the experience to go somewhere outside of your norm, when you take that attitude, I belong there, then
Right.
it should definitely make you feel
Take the walls down.
take that wall down. So I like that, Barbara. I think that right there sets the tone for the remainder of this conversation. I
All right.
belong there.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for calling in. You know I love you, and I
We
can't.
love you guys too.
Thank you for
Now,
supporting.
Barbara, Miss Barbara, before you leave, when you called in, did you have a comment or did you call in for the question in
Because
particular?
I asked her to call in.
Okay. All right. Well,
I called in to talk about culture shock because when she asked the young ladies about their culture shock when they went to college, that's exactly when I experienced culture shock. So the timing was perfect because she was asking the question that I was going to speak about when I went to college.
All right
Okay.
then.
Well, while we're there, now I'm going to allow Haley to give her comment on her experience when she went, just what she just said, the question that I asked. Perfect, Barbara. Thank you. Thank you so much. We love you.
We love you. Bye bye. I'm signing out now.
Oh,
I'll get back on the live feed.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
So before I even went to college, I kind of had like culture shock with school, like high school and middle school. So kindergarten all the way up to like 7th grade, I went to I don't know if y'all are familiar with A-Leaf, but I went to school in the A-Leaf school district, and it was definitely more African Americans. And then my mom decided that she wanted us to get a better education, more diverse type of field, so she moved us to Fort Bend. And I went to, it was diverse, but it was basically like half white.
What school did you go to in A-Leaf?
In A-Leaf, I went to, for middle school, I went to Albright.
Albright? That was one of the
Albright
better
was.
It was.
Albright,
It was.
yes, it was. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. You went to a good one. In high school, did you go to school there?
No, I was in Fort Bend.
Fort
so
Bend at this point.
8th grade, I moved to Fort Bend.
Okay.
And I went to Baines, and then I went to Ridge Point. I don't know if y'all heard of Ridge Point. So yeah, I was around. I remember when I went to 8th grade, my first day, like I was in class and this girl's name was Meg, and I texted her. I was like, "Oh my God, her name's Meg! Like that's so different." So just like that, and being around, it was just very different.
It was different.
Yeah, but I liked it. I think it exposed me to.
Yeah, because Albright had a diverse community of it. Albright.
Yes. Probably not
more
so much
than the other ones.
Right.
For sure.
Probably not so much her time coming in, but when Angel was there, it was definitely much more. So she was a little.
Is Angel younger than me?
She's older than you.
Oh, she's older than me.
Yes, she's older
Okay.
than you. Kelsey, what about your experiencing?
My experience for college, it was a huge change.
And what college are you at?
I'm at Prairie View A&M University.
Okay.
So
Wait a minute.
Wait.
She just said Southern was the best HBU in the whole world.
Is.
Okay, what you say
And
about
you
that?
don't have nothing to say?
PV is ranked #1. So
What you say? So you don't even have to say
I don't even
anything.
gotta say
You
anything.
say Google y'all, huh? Okay.
I'll give it to y'all. Y'all's campus is beautiful, but
Your band is really great. I give that.
our band is amazing.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Talking about a cultural
I
shock.
agree. I absolutely agree with that. Their band is amazing.
Okay, then.
And the Dancing Dolls.
Oh yeah, can't forget about them.
Okay, so
But it was a huge.
We got a whole fight going on
You
here.
are so messy. He is an instigator.
But for me, the big change was it being in Waller County and how it is. Full transparency, it is racist.
That's okay. Go
Town.
there.
And a HBCU in the middle of a racist town.
Yes.
It's really different, especially when you have cops stopping
Yeah.
everyone constantly. It's like a new normal. It wasn't normal to me. Like, why would we being stopped? But like, yeah. And then it being in the country, I'm a suburban kid. I live in a suburb. So like it being in the country, the weather was extremely cold. And when it was hot, it was really hot. Being up on the hill, it's just everything is heightened up there, when it comes to weather. Yeah.
And so when you say culture shock, being in the HBU, HB,
Yeah.
historically black college,
Yeah.
especially being in Prairie View where it's racist,
Just
you realize you cannot ride with 3 and 4 people in a vehicle
That's
at the same in the same vehicle, correct? You
No.
don't do that because that's an automatic red flag. It shouldn't be that way,
It shouldn't.
but
Yeah.
that's the way it is, and you have to learn to adapt to your culture, and that's
So
adapting to the culture.
that's a culture
yeah.
shock. So do you guys experience that, or did you experience that at Southern?
I did. Just coming from being in a diverse environment and then going
Mhm.
straight back to being just with my people, it was a really good experience though. I'm glad that I got that just to be with just I don't know, you kind of find yourself, I guess.
Through a HBCU.
Mhm.
Okay, and I was actually getting ready to go there. So g- attending an HCB,
See that now
there
you
you go. You
messing
got
up.
me all messed up in it. Yes, attending an HBCU university, and then having friends that may not be there or be at another university.
Mhm.
Do you see a difference? What does an HBCU give you that no other university can provide to someone of color?
Fun.
Okay.
I mean, I guess fun has its different perspectives. Everybody's different.
Hmm.
But we get a lot of when we have Spring Fest or Homecoming, we get a lot of black artists, like people that we actually listen to. I know my friends at their PWIs, they get like country singers they may not listen to, or like it's just nothing things I don't know. They just don't we're the majority at our school, so we
Right.
get what we would want, what we would want to see.
Yeah.
So I guess we're happier there.
Okay. And what do you get, or what have you gained by being on a
I
on
don't
your
know
campus?
the word for like what I'm trying about to explain, but like it's just they give you that black powerful feeling of being a community and like
Mhm.
whole people that understands you. We grew up the same music. When it comes to like singing gospel songs, it's like a whole choir singing. You hear all the vocals. It's just amazing. It's like an amazing experience to be
Tap
a
into
part of
your
HBC.
culture.
It's your
Okay.
culture. It's
So
amazing.
You get to learn who you are as an
Yeah.
individual. Yeah.
okay,
For
that's
sure.
That's good.
that's
Mhm.
great.
We have some comments.
Okay, we want to go ahead and share some.
Yes, we have one from Ebony Guillory. She says, I agree, Kelsey. Graduating from Kempner High School in Sugarland, then going to my alma mater at PVU was a world of differences.
Mhm.
And then from Dim Jackson, 42, good morning, Southern University, supporting Haley Jackson, doing an awesome job.
Okay, keep going
She
because they're
also,
wearing them out.
she also commented, gives you confidence.
Mhm.
HBCUs gives you confidence. You become proud of who you are. And I
Mhm.
absolutely agree.
My mom went to Southern. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's her.
And
Okay.
it's safe too as well.
Yes.
It is.
Do you
You
guys
feel safe,
you
should I
feel
say.
safe?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about a cultural.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead, Brother Carter.
I was talking about earlier being raised in the 60s and 70s, and we didn't really mix it up.
Mhm.
Black people and white people, we didn't do that. So I'm ask y'all today, uh, y'all in the historical black colleges right now, but you went to high school with a diverse community.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys do like me in the 70s, or did you embrace
Different.
the diversity?
Mhm. I embraced the diversity in high school, I will say, but I don't think it was on a just real deep, genuine friendship level.
Mm.
I think it was just, like I said, just
Hey, girl.
adapting and
Yeah.
like just
Mhm.
like being open. But going to HBCU, I'm not really diverse with my friendships right now.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'll say that.
All righty. What about you, Kelsey?
Can you repeat the question for me one more time? I was commenting to somebody. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I said, did you learn to embrace your diversity when you're coming up in school? And so, in other words, did you have friends that were not African Americans?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In elementary, I did have a couple of friends that weren't of African American, but once we got older and I started making like people that like look like me and understand my upbringing, that's where I kind of dispatched from the diversity. But we were still cordial to each other. But it
Mhm.
Mhm.
got to a point where I just strictly had my My sisters.
Yeah.
So I want to really talk about this. I think we as a community, meaning the African American community, and what is happening in the world today, is becoming, let's just be very frank, it's very toxic. Racism is becoming very toxic out there now. And we as African Americans have to be very careful because it's just toxic. It's
When you say toxic, what do you
meaning that the racism, people that are unfamiliar with us, are very they're setting their own agendas, and they're really this culture shock, this white pride, this pride stuff. We as African Americans have to be careful. And the reason I'm bringing this comment up, and the reason I'm bringing that up is, what can we do as African Americans to make it be more open to bring in the other cultures where they will feel comfortable? Because I think it's all fear is being uncomfortable with the unknown. And as we need to have conversations with them, they need to have conversations with us. And most of the time, people are afraid to even start a conversation with someone that they're unfamiliar with.
Now, let me put a pause on you right quick.
Okay.
Now, we as African Americans 1st, I think we need to learn how to embrace
Each other.
each other.
Yes.
You know, we have a huge problem just just being with one another. We have this I don't know what it is, but all other cultures in life know how to unite with one another. But us as African Americans, we seem to lack that ability to unite one with another. We don't want to stand together for anything. You know, unless, somebody get shot, killed by the white officer, and then we come together for that day and 2 days, and then after it's over, then we go about our business, and we look out for our own selves versus looking out for each other as a community, unlike we did when I was growing up as a young lad. The lady down the street seeing my little bad behind running down the street, she was gonna tell my mother on me, and my mother would deal with me or my father. And we don't have that anymore today. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Well, I 100% agree. You guys, y'all feel comfortable to chime in anytime you want to. I 100% agree with you that it starts with us. But I think those that have had, since we're talking about culture shock, those that had the ability to go out and experience something different and not be afraid, I feel has a responsibility to bring the other ones along. Now, I don't have the responsibility to carry the burden of those that don't, but I think we should, you being an open-minded person, when you are engaging with another African American or a Caucasian person or a Hispanic person, I really do believe that you need to have a conversation where it's welcoming for both.
Right.
And I think that, and it does start with our African Americans as individuals. We need to start embracing each other. So I agree with you on that.
Because I worked, like I said, I worked corporate America for the last 30 years almost. And when I seen African Americans being friends with Caucasian Americans, they would see another African American and
Wouldn't even speak.
Won't even speak to you because
yes,
and
no, that's so true.
It's just awkward.
It's not
it's
awkward.
Like
you can't even embrace your own because I don't want them to see me talking to you. But
yeah,
do you understand what he's saying there?
Yes, there's a lot of divisions in the Black community.
Yeah.
Even with like skin color, like light skins, the dark skins, the brown skins, or even with men liking to date white women and not their own.
And you call sellouts and all this kind of stuff just because.
What's that saying? The skin folk, not your kin folk, something like that.
Yes,
saying like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think that again, and you're so right, Brother Carter. It starts within our community.
Mm-hmm.
We have to start being more respectful of one another.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need to stop this competition because there is, as one of the comments that came in, we have our own competition with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mhm.
Why are we competing
Mm-hmm.
with one another when we're all just trying to move forward? And historically, and I want to bring it where y'all probably don't want to go. That goes back to the Jim Crow days.
Mm-hmm.
They messed us up way back when.
And it's a shame they
It,
still
it's
live
still
within us
going in
today.
us today.
Yeah.
So what do you have to do, y'all? I mean, the younger generation, how do y'all feel about racism?
Mm.
How do I feel about racism?
Do y'all deal with it? Do you even see it?
You know, it's funny that you ask that. Sometimes, like, it's so crazy because, like, when I experience it, I don't realize that it's racism because, like, you would think that that's in the past, but it's still happening.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one incident when I was like in elementary. We had a dress code to where we can't wear tight. Okay, so I had tights on and I had
Mhm.
shorts over those tights, and I got dress coded because it was inappropriate. But it was another girl that was wearing the same thing as me, but she was of
She was Caucasian.
yeah, and I was like, why am I the only one being dress coded? She's wearing the same thing.
Because
So
your
that's-
body
that's-
is different.
Yeah, that's when I learned. That's when I first experienced like, wow, that's
Yeah.
I didn't know that can. I didn't realize that can happen. I've experienced more experiences, but that's one that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
Wow. For you?
I've had a few, another elementary, but it was weird because we had like a field day and we could bring something to play with outside, and I had forgot to bring something, and I asked a girl that we weren't really friends,
Mhm.
but she was black. You know, I guess I felt comfortable going up to her and asking her if I could play with her bubbles and stuff, and she was like, "No, my mom said that I can't play with black." She was like, "You're black, like I can't."
Mhm.
And I'm
Mm.
like, "You're black too." Like I'm confused.
And again, that goes back to what we were talking about. We are, as a people, Brother Carter said, we as a people, it starts with us.
Mhm.
We really have to do better. And I think that, no disrespect, we all want to raise our families in better communities, better
Mhm.
than what we had when we
Right.
were growing up.
But
But
don't
just
forget.
with that mentality,
Mhm.
we want something better for our kids. You still have to embrace what you had because what we grew up with wasn't all bad. Look at how you turned out.
Mhm.
And one of the things with trying to give more to our children and moving in these different communities, if you don't expose them
Mhm.
to appreciate and respect themselves,
Mhm.
you really are doing more damage to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And I think that having the opportunity to send your child to especially if you're living in a predominantly white community,
Mhm.
having to be able to send them to a HBCU is awesome
Yeah.
because they have to get that culture somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think that kudos to your parents
Yeah.
for doing that.
And Nita Bennett, you said something that's so true. You know, you have to learn to be you, be yourself, and no matter what environment you're in. But however, being yourself, you have to be diverse as well. Because, you know, the way I talk to you and around my own people is different when I'm in a Caucasian community.
So let's talk about that.
You know, and I think everyone experienced. I see a lot of people,
Isn't it called like
especially.
code switching?
Yeah, yeah. I think I see a lot of us do that. You know, we speak differently when we're around our.
Why are y'all
What they
okay?
call
Okay,
counterparts? What do they call white people? I just got to say
let
it
me
what it
just
is.
say this
Go ahead.
without us feeling. See how we're
Uncomfortable.
struggling. We shouldn't be uncomfortable with saying racism. We shouldn't be uncomfortable with saying Caucasian, white, Hispanic. It is what it is, and
Okay.
I'm not going to struggle with saying something or be in prison or feel like I'm in prison because somebody is going to be offended.
Look, everybody's not Donald Trump and just be able to say whatever you want to say off the top of your head. Most of us have to be conscionable
There go one of
about,
them words, y'all. I told y'all
you
he's
know,
gonna make up some
about
words.
what we're
Consider it.
saying
Yeah.
and who we're saying it to. because they're actually words do matter.
Right.
And and so you don't want to just say anything off
No.
the top of your head
Oh, you talking to yourself?
all the time.
Because it will come out, right? I tell you, that's why I love you. Go ahead, Brother Carter.
No, but seriously, all seriousness,
Aside.
we have to. I don't know why we do that though. I mean,
Code switch.
yeah, I don't know
What
why
y'all,
we
just
do
what y'all
that.
call it? Code
Code
switch?
switching.
Code switching. I
just
never
think it's
heard
What
the
is it?
term.
like
What is it?
protect yourself, honestly.
I forgot the word, but I know.
It's like when you you talk to your friends, you have a different type of dialogue, different
Mhm.
You got different characters for
tone,
each
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
part of
it's
your
different.
life.
But then they'll say like, well, tomorrow I got this interview. I'm on the phone like, hello, my name is,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
what code switching is.
Okay.
You talk different based on the situation. or
Now
who you're
you want to
talking
be white now.
Right, that's what. Have y'all seen the movie? Oh my gosh, what was that movie with Lakeith Stanfield?
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
that was a good
That
movie.
was a good movie.
It was funny too.
Well, I think that out of that, you and it's not so much that you have to be somebody else different, but you have to be intentional about the environment in which you're in. You know,
And
and
that's not mean you being somebody different. You
Yeah.
just you just adapting to.
to the
I
environment.
think it's like a survival thing.
Yes.
It probably came from a survival thing, like in the past
Yeah.
of Black people code switching, or
Okay.
maybe different races do that.
That's-
Because you gotta,
Yeah.
it's a different. Yeah, you have to survive in different environments. I think
Okay.
it's
Could
survival.
someone please give us?
You know what? I have to say this.
Go ahead.
We are very, very bright people.
Intelligent. We are.
To be able to
Switch off
to
like
switch
that.
like that,
On a dime.
you know.
You got to.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Switch
know,
on a
you're
dime.
talking about being on your toes at all times.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, it is some kind of survival
Like when you
technique
just
that
think
we have.
about like Harriet Tubman and what they had to go through to just like not get caught.
Caught.
Yeah.
There's so many different things
Yeah.
you have.
Wow, I never
attained
thought
from
about it
even
like
going
that.
through
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's
Haley.
probably
You
it.
taught me something.
You're welcome.
I don't know everything I see.
Wait. What is he? He's a unlicensed preacher. He's a
Don't
unlicensed
go through all
therapist.
my
Oh yes.
unlicenses.
Oh my goodness.
He's an unlicensed preacher, unlicensed therapist. He's a the
Oh,
phone is
Lord,
all
oh,
hot,
Lord.
and then more. While we're going at it, I'm gonna have Haley read a couple of these comments down here so we can go ahead and respond to them real quick.
Okay.
We have Joya Cooper, my aunt.
You're
And
okay.
Joya Bradley, excuse me. Joya Bradley, my aunt.
Okay. Well, we're gonna let Miss Bradley. Miss Bradley, you want to come on in and give us your perspective on this conversation?
Good morning. Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you very well.
Okay, awesome. This is a great conversation. I just wanted to give my perspective. 2 points I wanted to make. 1 point, I read one of the comments about HBCUs, and we should all encourage our students, our kids to go to HBCUs. I think that is fantastic. As a matter of fact, I have a teenager who is soon to graduate, who I've been encouraging to go to HBCU. However, I did not attend HBCU. I attended the University of Texas at Austin, and I believe that experience, and I'm going to jump to my second point from the brother about diverse perspectives. Even though my Black experience or experience within my own community at that university may not have been as intense as it would have been at an HBCU, I do think that experience prepared me for diverse perspectives in the corporate world. I do have lots of friends of all backgrounds. I can say that. But I do have my core group of friends from my own community. So I just think that experience for me gave me a wider perspective of the world. Also, I'm a world traveler, so I have experienced different cultures. And I wanted to say, you know, as a community, I think sometimes we fail to embrace other cultures openly.
That's true.
So I'm very open-minded when it comes to other cultures. And I think working in the corporate world in terms of what we call coding or flexing, I have learned to do that very well in my earlier career. But as I have progressed, I have just said, you know what? I'm going to be my authentic self.
Yes.
And I'm not just worried what other people think of me. So I am going to encourage these young people listening today, the young ladies in the world, I mean, in the room, be your authentic self.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
What's the call? What's your name, caller?
Sorry,
What is your name again?
it's Joya Bradley.
Joya. Miss Joya, you have a very diverse culture in your life. And the question I have for you, thank you. First, thank you for calling in.
Thank you so much.
And my question would be, do you find yourself changing the way you speak when you with
That's what
different?
she just said.
Yeah.
She just said early on she
Yeah.
did. And now that she's older and more experienced and matured, she is not. She is her authentic self. Isn't that what you just said, Miss Julie?
I sure did. I sure did. And you know, if you articulate well or you speak well, that is not changing. That is just speaking.
Right.
I know sometimes in those environments, you know, you get comments, oh, you speak very well. Am I not supposed to?
There you go.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't understand your statement. So I have learned to call out the microaggressions or the biases. I just call them on it.
Come on, girl.
I'm at the point in my career where I don't care. I'm going to call you on your ish.
I absolutely love it. You're as someone just said, you're going to be your unapologetic self. I do agree. I know they said something else.
I have a t-shirt that says it and I wear it on Friday.
All right then.
And you know what? You just spoke to my soul because both of these ladies here can attest that I am truly that girl. I am that girl. I am unapologetic about what I feel, who I am, but I'm always respectful of others. But I am not going to.
You just cleared up what Nita Bennett said on the comments too.
What did she say?
Be yourself.
Be yourself. That's exactly right. Thank you so much for this call. As always, all the calls are needed and wanted, and your feedback. I hope you're enjoying the show, and I hope you stay in. Anything that you want to leave us with about your experience listening in on the show?
I think the show has been absolutely enlightening. I wish I could have been a guest, Kelsey.
Oh. Well, we're gonna have to work on that.
I would have loved to have been a guest.
Okay, well, there you go.
She putting that in.
She putting it in. That's how you look at Kelsey over here. Like she knows. I said your family is gonna get you.
You speaking things into existence, huh?
There you go. I want to thank you guys. Thank all of you all that are listening in. This show has been so wonderful, just having the comments and reading the comments. And thank you, Kelsey. Do you have anything you want to say to her before we hang up? Because she gonna get you.
They're most definitely gonna get me. It's pretty soon too. Okay, but I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you everybody for tuning in and commenting in the comments. I really enjoy your comments also.
Keep it coming.
Amen.
All righty, and thank you, and thank you again for calling. And
thank you.
Bye bye.
All right.
All righty. That was a wow.
That was a good call there.
That was a very good call.
Yeah.
So with that being said, she said something that is so true. And it's as in the comments, you have to be your authentic self. Now, you have to figure out, because if you're still wavering, you probably haven't really figured out who you are. And that's going to come in time. And that came, as she stated, which is so, and even for me, that's as you mature. So don't feel like, because you really don't know who you are right now. You're still trying to figure that thing out. And
I think it comes down to being comfortable with who you are and where you are in life,
Accepting yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, in my opinion.
I agree.
I absolutely agree.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna let y'all take this. This show done went so many different directions, but it's definitely.
We have a lot of comments.
Let's go.
To get read. But
okay.
Let me go up real quick. Okay. Barbara Collins said, "We don't call it white talking. We call it well educated."
There you go. Yep. Okay, that's right.
And then Foxy Brown said, "I agree with Val. Or these young people will grow up thinking like Stacey Dash."
I think you right.
My God.
Yes, that was a good one. I like. Yes. Exactly.
Okay, and we also have one from Ebony Glary. She says, "Yes, be unapologetically who you are." Asher Spivey. She said, "As a young individual transitioning into the corporate world, What advice do you all have in order to properly establish ourselves, but also not lose ourselves?
Mhm.
She was
Whoa.
asking a
That
question,
was
actually.
That's my boyfriend.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty.
Spivey.
Read that one more time and take it slow so we can give him that answer.
Gotcha. As a young individual transitioning into the corporate world, what advice do you all have in order to properly establish ourselves, but not also lose ourselves?
And since this is a brother, I'm gonna let you take it first, brother Carter.
Go ahead.
And it's you want to answer the question for
What's the
him?
question?
You wasn't listening?
No, I was doing something else. I'm
Oh
sorry. I'm sorry.
God. Okay.
I can read it
My
again.
mind was somewhere
Well,
else.
it needs to stay
Yeah, I
here.
can give you some background on how he's
Okay.
transitioning too.
Okay.
After you want to.
I'm gonna read it one more time. Okay. As a young
For the
individual,
people in the back of the
yeah,
room.
for the people in
Yeah.
the back of the room.
Yeah.
Come on up, Lawrence.
As a young individual
Mm.
transitioning into the corporate world, what advice do you all have in order to properly establish ourselves, but also not lose ourselves?
Okay.
Properly establish
With yourself
yourself
without losing yourself.
without
And
losing
since you
yourself.
have some history, give us that, and then he'll give the answer.
So Asher goes to Southern with me, and he's doing an internship right now with Medtronic in Minnesota. It's so different from what he's from Atlanta, so he's been around black people like his whole life.
Right.
And in Minnesota, he's the only black intern that's a man.
Mhm.
There's like 3 other women, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's very different. It's very different.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
Definitely
why
a
he's-
culture shock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And what advice would
And
you
so
give?
I would say to that, have a sense of belonging. Should I say?
You belong there.
You belong in the place.
Like Miss Collins said.
It's no mistake where God has you right now. And when you have confidence in knowing God put you in a certain place or position in life, accept that from God and be your authentic self. Just like all the comments been saying, all the conversation been going on. I just say, just be comfortable with yourself. Know that you belong, and just be.
Okay. And I'm going to say, and then we're going to give someone gave a
Mhm.
comment there too. I'm going to say to, first of all, to you,
Asher.
Asher, um, I'm proud of you as a
Mhm.
young African American male
Mhm.
that is transitioning into
Mhm.
corporate America, that is trying to do something great.
Mhm.
I commend you and I'm proud of you.
Mhm.
And as Brother Carter said, you are not there by chance. You're
Mhm.
there, you're right where you're supposed to be. You go in and walk in the all the greatness that God has
Mhm.
created in you.
Mhm.
You be bold, you be respectful, but be humble to
Mhm.
learn. And when you get into corporate America,
Mhm.
you be bold, you be humble, and you grow.
Mhm.
Uh, be unapologetic about being respectful,
Mhm.
unapologetic about being intelligent, unapologetic about being where you are because that's where you're supposed to be. Now, the way you don't lose yourself is just to respect yourself. So wherever you go as you transition, whether you're in Louisiana,
Mhm.
are you in Atlanta, are you here in
Mhm.
Texas, just be that same person.
Don't
Just
forget who you
don't
are.
forget, don't lose you.
Yeah.
And just know that God has equipped you with all the tools that you need to be successful.
And if you don't know this, I'm gonna give you this one here for free, brother Spivey, young brother Spivey. If you are a Bible reader, I'm assuming, and so I would tell you carry the 23rd number of Psalm with
Come on,
you
brother
everywhere
Carter.
that you go. The Lord, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall now. It's a personal prayer.
Mhm.
And so carry that wherever you go, and you'll know grace and mercy both follow you everywhere that you go. So you just embrace that scripture right there. It'll take you a long, long way. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
And if you could read the comment from Miss Ebony, she had a very good comment for him.
Yes, she said, I would say don't fake it till you make it.
Mm.
Learn it, conquer it, and excel. Ask questions, read, and don't get into your own head. Be confident in what you do at all times.
Amen, amen, amen.
Loving this advice.
And Barbara
Yes.
Collins also said, and don't let go of God's unchanging hands.
There you go.
Oh, to
There you
his hand.
Oh, and he
God's
is,
unchanged.
and he's an unlicensed singer, y'all. I tell you, wow.
Oh man, so we having a great
Good time.
time, but yeah, what we gonna do right now?
Oh,
You got
my-
another question you want to ask them?
I do. I
Okay.
really, really do, and I really want to get the feedback
Mhm.
from. We have such great comments here.
Mhm.
I don't want anybody in here. We're going to wait a few minutes. I mean, we're going to give you a split second. I want someone to answer the question for me. Why is it difficult, or why do we struggle with one dating outside of their race? Why do African Americans,
What,
especially,
the men or the women?
I'm just putting it out there, it doesn't matter. Why do we struggle with one dating outside of the race? Or is it a struggle? And someone in the comments give me, ooh, that was, can someone give me an answer on that?
Okay.
Oh,
Not us
And why
waiting
they?
on somebody.
huh?
Not we don't want
Well,
to
you
answer
can
it
go.
yet.
You can answer
Yeah,
it,
we
and
gotta
then I'll
keep the
wait on it.
conversation
Yeah,
going.
we'll
We can't sit silent.
well.
Oh,
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 okay then. Okay. All
But
righty.
go ahead,
Go ahead,
Haley.
Great Wallet.
Oh, okay. I would say people struggle with it because, especially if you're dating someone that's white, they kind of look at it as like you don't respect yourself because of all that happened with slavery, and they just think it's like disrespect to you, your family, your ancestors, like everything we've been through. So I think people struggle with that part, and then also I
That is
think
good.
that because, like you said, we have to learn as a community as a race to embrace ourselves. I think we're always, like you said, against each other. I feel like we haven't had the chance to win as a race, so we're trying to win within, and that's not really what we're trying to do. So I think that's why that people also struggle because they want us to only be with us. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's good. That's good.
I think it's more acceptable at this age and time than it was when I was coming up as a young lad.
Oh, for sure.
You
Yeah.
know, and so it was forbidden,
Mhm.
even though it was
Still
doing
happening,
it. It
yeah.
was still happening, but it was
People
almost
had it.
forbidden.
It's like,
you know.
what's going on?
What is wrong with this boy, with this woman?
Yeah.
What is wrong with this girl, and with this man? So do we have a call online?
They actually just hung up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, they'll call back. Maybe the phone got disconnected. We
I
have
like this.
we have a couple of questions, comments on here. You want to go ahead and read that
Of
came
course,
through?
we have a comment from Haley's mom. She says, "Learn all that you can from."
What's
the
Haley's mom name?
Is it
It's Dem Jaxo on there, but her name is Deborah.
Deborah? Okay, so
Deborah.
Miss Deborah
Oh, she didn't
said,
gave us the old hashtag and all this. Okay, all right, I see you. All right, I see you. I see you for two.
Okay, go ahead.
Miss Deborah said, "Learn all that you can from that opportunity, and grow from experience."
That was for Spivey.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then Ross Wilkins said, "I don't have an issue with this. There should only be one race, human race."
There
Choose-
you go.
Absolutely.
I
Amen.
agree.
Then we have a
Amen.
comment from Tinny Lyons. She said, "It's not a struggle for myself. However, it's nothing like Black love."
Okay, I love that too. Okay,
Mhm.
perspective. And then I don't think I gave you a chance. Did you have a opinion
Oh,
on that?
me?
I know you do.
I do.
I know you
Me
do.
and my sister, it's so funny because me and my sisters talk about this all the time. But I really don't have a problem with, the only thing I do have a problem with is like a black male stating reasons why he doesn't want to date a black female. Like, okay,
Yes.
you don't have to bash us. Just
Right,
you can, I don't
right.
care who you date. That's cool. You love who you love. Just don't bash the
Mhm.
black females. Same for black females with dating white men. Don't bash the black men. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's mine.
And
But
I have to agree with all of the comments that came
Mhm.
in, and it's a great perspective. I do believe that love is love, it's human race.
Mhm.
But I think that it's very difficult when you set out to go, and well, it's an issue. When you set out, I'm just going to go and date this
Mhm.
person that's outside of the race.
Mhm.
What are you saying about your own race,
Your mama.
your
Right.
mama, your sister, and everyone else? And so I would agree that you don't have to bash.
Right.
You don't have to put down the African American woman.
Yeah.
For,
Because y'all loud.
and what you say, brother? Cause see y'all see why we be fighting. What? Why would a man say that?
Loud and you argue.
We're not loud.
We know how to
And
stand up for ourselves.
Barbie don't do all of that.
Oh,
Not Barbie.
why do some men date? Or have you ever dated outside of your race?
I
Absolutely.
only have you, honey.
Okay. Well, why? Oh Lord, you. So,
That
what
was
am
a
I
good
gonna do?
answer.
Since 1978.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Well, why do African American men date? What's your perspective on that?
I have a perspective. I have a thought,
Okay. Well, what's your thought?
and it really is meaningful because I don't know what's in the mind of men that really do that. But I think that they have an esteem issue with themselves. They can't handle a true, real woman. They're always looking for something lesser, should I say? And I don't want to say
Just
white women are less,
yes,
but they look for something
that they can dominate.
I
less.
feel like that. Yeah, that's easier.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So someone that's not
That's just my one
Not
man's
as
opinion.
challenging.
Right.
that they're
Right.
so in other words, what I'm hearing you say, because you're being nice, and I don't think I ever heard Brother Carter not nice. I don't think I ever heard you struggle with just saying it.
No.
I I think
This is the love and victory show with that. This is the love and victory show. This not
Not
the
the
hate
hate
and
and
beat
loss.
down show. It's the love and
I
victory
get
show.
you're so right, but
And we on Raise the Praise
praise
100.
Okay, so
Okay.
but with that being said, I think part of that is that my thought on that is, would you say that it's because sometimes African American men that are not standing
Mm-hmm.
are bold enough, they are going to another race because because a black woman will challenge them. Let's just say
Yeah,
it.
Haley just said it.
It will challenge
Yeah,
them,
she just said it.
and then they
It's
feel
easier.
it's
Yeah,
easier.
it's easier. It's not as challenging. You
Okay.
know.
But is that a bad thing?
No, I think it challenges.
You need a
For the better.
challenge in your
Yeah.
life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So now there are, and I want to make sure that when I say this, there
Mhm.
are strong, forward-thinking, bold, intelligent uh, women of all walks of life.
Right, right.
But I do think that sometimes when you're just seeking and you're downing the black or a
Yeah.
black woman because you don't want to date her, that speaks
Yeah.
volumes about who you are
Yeah.
as an
Right,
individual.
right. And to add to that, there are some black women that's just not dateable. You know,
It's
they're
just
just very abusive
mhm,
because of their own
issues.
background. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
and and most people don't want to deal with your baggage.
Okay.
You know, and not realizing that we all bring in
Bring the
baggage
baggage to
to
the
to
table.
the dance.
I
You
agree
know,
with you.
you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, I agree 100%.
mhm.
Wow, this is a conversation. This has been
All
a great
right.
conversation. And I'm sorry, I'm shaking that up there.
Mhm.
I
Cultural shock.
culture shock. We have a caller here, and we have Miss Deborah. Did I say that right?
Yes, you
I,
did.
I can say Deborah because I had a friend that I grew up with back in Galveston. Her name was Deborah. Now, so this
Mhm.
is the second Deborah that I've ever met in my
Deborah is your
Deborah.
first name?
Deborah is the first name.
Deborah.
That sounds a little
People love
Frenchy.
saying Deborah, but now she's like, no,
No,
it's
it's
Deborah.
And that's
Deborah.
exactly what my friend would say when they called her Deborah. She was like, "No, it's Deborah."
Yeah.
So we don't mess with
Mr. Deborah, don't take the strength out of your name.
the.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Deborah,
Hello, Miss Deborah.
aka 42.
Look, how are you doing?
Good morning. Good
Good
morning. Can
morning.
you all hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
ma'am.
You are coming through loud and clear.
Hello, mother.
Okay. So I'm enjoying the conversation. So proud of Haley, and I want to thank you, Miss Val, for taking her under your wing. She's doing a great job.
All
Oh,
right.
thank. I am so proud of her myself. So this is my. I am mother away from
Mother.
home.
Yay!
Just say
So
yay.
I just wanted to comment on a couple of things. I guess
Sure.
I'm going to take you back a little bit
Sure.
on the culture shock
Mhm.
because I grew up in a small country town. You may be familiar with it, Belleville, Texas, where I was, the only black girl on the volleyball team that started, or the only black girl that excelled in certain areas. So for me to attend Southern University was just awesome because it gave me that culture that I needed and longed for. So that was the experience that I had. I'm a former athlete, so I see things from an athletic standpoint. I see a lot of these awesome athletes that end up going to Texas A&M, wherever, because of they get into this thing where they have better facilities or they have all this money or what have you.
Exposure.
But I would like to see more of our top athletes going to HBCUs. And that's why I'm so proud of what Deion Sanders is doing at Jackson State. And so that's one of the things that I'm into, as I am a athletic director, at my high school. And so I'm always looking to encourage us to attend more HBCUs and make their football program better, or make their basketball program better, or their volleyball team better. That's really important to me. Because I think you grow so much. I have so many friends that tell me, hey, I wish I went to an HBCU. I wish I had that, HBCU experience. And having a black son that plays baseball, he's often the only black boy on the team. Or, when we go to camps or what have you, he's often the only black boy. But what I always tell him is learn all that information that you can and transfer it to what you're trying to do. So that's my take on it.
Wow.
On the culture shock.
Well, I appreciate that. First of all, thank you for calling in. I am also an athlete. In Miss Collins, I was a track runner and a volleyball player.
She said formal athlete, baby.
Well, and what you trying to say? You see why Brother Carter stay in trouble. Once an athlete, always an athlete, right, Deborah, right. So
absolutely.
I don't care what you say. I was
all right. Speak that. Baby.
You are so petty. I am. Oh,
go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
So I want to thank you. I think what I really wanted to say to you as an educator, as an African American educator out there, having a opportunity to have an impact on all kids, and especially our young African American males and females. But I want to stick on that male thing as well. I say continue to pour into them, be authentically truthful with them. At the same time, we need to love on them, but not make them weak. Society and schools, and I want to say what the way that they're setting things up is we're giving these kids these little pats on the back. You did a good job. As my husband would always say, everybody on the team got an award. No, if you didn't earn it, you don't get it. And those things are really breaking down our kids and our young males from going out there and really working hard. So as you encounter them, please continue to pour into them, because we want our kids to grow up to be productive adults.
Amen. Amen.
Whatever that may be, whether they go to college or they find a job and don't go to college. We just want them to be productive. So thank you so much for calling in, and you've done an amazing job with Haley. And just thank you guys so much for the support today. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Can I talk about one more thing?
You sure can. Go ahead.
Okay, when I got on, you guys were talking about the dating outside of your race.
Yes.
And so I often get that question, what if your son brought, a white girl home, or what if your daughter brought this, a whatever, Italian or whatever home. So my thing is this: I don't have an issue with who they date. It doesn't matter to me in terms of their race. But I think I put that in the comments. My concern is, will their partner or their significant other understand their culture and their plight and what they're trying to do as a black female or a black male when they come home from that job and they've been, treated badly due to racism or what have you. Will that other partner understand their pain, and will they be able to, see what they are going through as a race?
Yeah.
That is just my concern with that. I don't have an issue with it, but
Mhm.
I am
I think
concerned
I
with
think that
how.
is a great
Mhm.
concern to have and a great perspective. That is, and I think we really need to think about that when
Yeah.
you start to seek
Yeah.
and to date.
And what words would you say in an argument?
What words would I say?
No, in the
Oh,
diverse
Oh, yeah. Oh,
relationship.
you're
What
saying
in
what
in
words
a
will come up
heated
in the
in
heat
a
of the
heated
moment?
yes.
hmm
Yeah, you need to think about it. Yes. What words that are going to be flared back at
Yes,
you
yeah.
in the heat of the comment?
Right.
Right,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right.
Well, excellent.
Okay, thank you all
Thank
so
you.
No,
much.
thank you, Sister Jackson, for calling in.
We
God
appreciate it.
bless you.
All
Okay,
righty, then we're going to
have a
wrap this
good day.
thing up. Okay. And to our wonderful listeners, you guys know we are at the top of the hour, right at the top
And
of the hour.
let me just say to make this one comment.
What? Go
Uh,
ahead, Brother Carter.
I know y'all know the number right now, but we cannot take any more calls at this time. Tune into the show next week and you can call the 346-355-0100 number. Amen.
I am so, I mean, this has been a fantastic show.
it has.
The comments, the engagement, you guys have been amazing.
Yes.
I know that it takes a lot for people to get up and then stay tuned in for
Mhm.
2 hours on a show,
Yeah.
and you guys have done it.
Yeah.
Thank you to every listener out there. Thank you, thank you,
God
thank
bless
you.
you. We love you.
We love you guys, and we ask that you continue to tune in. And I am going to make sure that Kelsey get her Amy. She boldly spoke that thing into existence.
Mhm.
I cannot wait. We're going to get her on the show now. When we,
I'd like to have her and Sister Jackson
I
on the
think
show.
that would be a great conversation. I think we're going to do. All right, y'all listening? Kelsey and Haley gonna let y'all both know we're gonna book y'all here sooner than later.
We're gonna get something hot and juicy for y'all to
We
come
gonna
on here and
have for
talk
y'all
about.
to come on this call. We're gonna have a great conversation. So thank you guys again. This has been a great show. Tune in to the Love and Victory show every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And to Haley. Woo! What was your experience and how did you feel being here?
This is my first time being on a radio show, and I love it. I always watch like interviews of celebrities on YouTube, and they're in like a radio type situation. So it's cool to experience it for myself. I enjoyed it, and then the topic was very interesting. I think the conversation went well. The questions we got, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Okay then. All righty.
Great first time experience.
Okay, and for you, Miss, keeping that board hot over there, what was your experience on the show today?
Today was tremendously very, very eventful.
Eventful. That's my mother's word.
And I know my aunts are gonna get me this coming weekend because I know our grandma is having a birthday party.
Oh, they gonna wear you
They're
out.
gonna get me.
Well, good. And Brother
I
Carter.
tell you what, make sure you have your phone on video when they
Get you, so we want to see some of that. Brother Carter, what was your experience like for the show?
This was a cultural shocking interview.
Okay.
And it was very liberating. It was eye opening, and it was uplifting. So I'm very appreciative of all the comments, all questions, and particularly having Miss Haley on the show and our engineer.
She did
Done
the
a
thing.
good job at putting this theatrics together. So
there you go again, y'all.
we're just so grateful and just so happy. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I'm going to be glad and rejoice in it. And I thank you guys for tuning in to the show.
Okay, and you want to wrap this thing up, Miss Engineer, and let them know about how they can find us, where to tune in.
Before you go, I think you wanted to talk about the LMV thing real quick before you
thank
get out of
you.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, again, the upcoming event for the park.
Yes, LNV, which is Miss Valerie's nonprofit. We're having an event August 13th, and it's going to be at Russ Poppy Family Park.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to volunteer, we do have it up on Volunteer Houston. And if you just want to attend, or if you know anybody that is disabled, we are servicing the disabled community for this event. We're having a walk in the beginning, and then just a fun family time, a good time afterwards with like DJs and not movies.
Oh no, right?
Food
Yeah.
and game trucks, and just it's gonna be a fun time.
in the park.
In the park, yes. And then all you have to do is go to the LNB Facebook, and we have an Eventbrite link, and that's how you register to come.
All right, amen.
All
And
right.
also, we want to also let you guys know that LNV Enterprise Resource Inc. is a nonprofit organization geared and reared to
Uplift people with disabilities, all people. And we definitely cannot do all the things that we do without your donations.
and so we welcome you to go to our website. That's www.lverinc.com. We welcome your
Click onto the
generous.
donation button, and whatever your heart desire. I know what Brother Carter is going to say, but I'm going to say whatever your heart leads you to
What you
do.
thought I was gonna say?
It's something nice, I'm sure.
I'm just gonna say we welcome your contributions.
I love you. I love
I
you.
don't never tell nobody how much to do.
I know, baby.
Okay.
But whatever your heart
Yeah.
desires, please donate. This event is totally free for the community. It is wide open. We will be serving food. We will be having drinks. We will be not liquor, y'all. Okay, so it's going to be a lot going on, and it is
Not
totally
liquor
free
for you church folks.
Yeah, so just make sure. Please continue to donate and
Yeah.
support.
Amen.
Amen. And Kelsey, how can they find us?
You can find us on all social media platforms at LV with Val. And you can find our website at lvwithval.com.
And click the like, go to the page, click the like button, and follow. Thank you. And again, until next Saturday,
Everybody look at the camera.
We love y'all. Bye.